Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. Hi, I'm Steve Goody, sitting here in my office here in Wellington. Well, there's apocalyptic weather going on outside. I don't know if you're anywhere near where I am, but holy, that's a lot of rain out there. I thought Easter was last weekend. We're certainly getting the flood this one. So welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for being here and all being on time. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to try for the next sort of 35, 40 minutes to put on an action-packed webinar for you and show you some of the ideas around what my coaching program looks like. And we have a slight agenda here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I started in property and real estate many eons ago, and run you through a few scenarios there, and then show you some case studies of what some of my clients have been up to and what they've been doing. And then we're going to discuss the property coaching program itself, to give you some generic ideas about what it is that we actually do, because I know there's a lot of other coaches in the property market these days, and I truly do believe after sort of 20 plus years of the industry that we have fine-toothed and refined ourselves down to being the very best one out there. And then I'm going to take any questions you've got, but you're more than welcome, obviously, as you have. I always get that wrong. It's a mirror image thing over there. Far side of the screen there, you've got a comment section. You can always put in any questions, comments that you want, and we can address them lifetime as well. So welcome, settle in, make yourself comfortable. Hope you've got a wine in front of you or whatever, get you going, and let's get into it. Very early on in my investing, let's be fair, very early on in my life, I was an 18-year-old kid who used to work in pubs and mow lawns, and I even had a newspaper around back in the day. Never did the whole milk delivery thing. Pretty much everything else. Scratched together about $10,000 and put that money into exactly this property here. This is in Makareni Street in Paraparaumu. It's what we affectionately refer to as an old Beasley box. I think we paid about $120,000 for this property, and I was part owner of this property with my parents. And it got me to property number one for a little while, and I felt like I'd made it. I owned a piece of real estate. I was very proud of me. And then roll on a couple more years, and I finished college and school and done all this sort of thing, and started to do some work, and decided, look, I really need to go and have a look at the world. And so I did my big OE. And so just before I did that, I sold my portion of that property back to my parents, cashed out of it, and took about, I don't know, $35,000 out of that property, something along those lines. I think that my parents at the time, let's be fair here, had been very generous to me. But that's what happened. I took some cash out of this property. I went to Europe, and I went skiing, and I worked in pubs, and had the quintessential international experience, as you do like that. Rolled around Europe a bit, got to see the world a bit, and had a great old time. Got back to New Zealand, and was very broke, very broke. Really didn't have any money at all. Was back living with my parents again, which is embarrassing to admit. Currently, as a 52-year-old man, but you know, back then I was mid to late 20s, and that was fine. So I went and found a job, and I started working for a company called Pacific Retail Group, who own Noel Leeming's Bond & Bond, Computer City, and strangely enough, Bend On Lingerie. I don't know. So anyway, I was a store manager for Bond & Bond for quite some time. Sold TVs, sold computers, all that type of thing. Created some money, created some revenue. It was never my forever job, but I did really enjoy sales. And one of the things that I learnt doing sales was that the easiest way to get ahead, the easiest way to actually make really great progress when you're doing something, I'm just going to make myself, hey, there I am, a bit bigger there. The easiest way to actually get real sustainable progress going in sales was to find somebody who was doing the sales or the level of sales that you wanted to be doing, and to watch them very closely and replicate exactly what it was they do. Because I truly don't believe that there's any new information in the world. There's just motivation, there's people to follow, there's mentors, there's coaches like myself, there's things that you can do to represent exact actions to replicate exact results. And that's exactly what I did. So I studied some of the store managers that were doing very well at the time, and I took my little store to the middle of the top. Did very well with it. Started making some really, really nice money. But it was never going to be my forever home. I knew that I was never going to sit there on $55,000 a year, including commission and bonuses and structured bits and pieces, and be happy with that. Even if you put the consumer price index on that year after year, it was never going to be enough to literally be able to live a really great life. And so I took a close look at what I was doing, and really decided that property and property investing would probably be the best bet for me. I also at that stage had a cousin who was doing very, very well at it. And so I replicated to a degree what he did. And he handed me a book one day. The book was called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And it took me one night to read it. It took me a week to read it for the second time, and took me about 10 years to really understand it. And if you've ever read that book, I think that it falls true for a lot of people as well. It's a great book for getting you motivated and excited and wound up, but it's not a manual. You can't just go and do the things that it says in the book and get the result. So there was more things that I had to do. So I started replicating some of the people in property that I really admired. Wellington guy that I really enjoyed working with, a guy called Dave Green, and he was very, very involved in real estate and property. And what he said to me, and what I got to realize very, very quickly, is that the 40 hours a week you spend with your knees under someone else's desk, the work you do for somebody else, the PAYE, the salaried employment, that is the seed capital that they give you. Your real life starts when you figure out how to invest that money, and then invest it well enough so that it supersedes the hourly rate you're getting, and it's more than the seed capital. And that's when your life really starts to get going. And when you can exceed your own personal hourly rate with passive income from your investments, you are at that point financially free. And that's what we've always really, really wanted to be. Great question, Matthew. Great answer, Ben. Thank you for that. Yeah, it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book. So I went out, and while I was still financially employed working for somebody else, nights and weekends, I bought a property and I renovated it and I put some tenants into it. And then I went back to the bank, borrowed some more money, and did it again. Over a couple of years, I got to 4. I had 4 properties at that stage. I went to the bank, and the bank said, no, we can't lend you any more money because you on your own can't sustain the mortgages on 4 mortgages if you lose your job. So the banks put the big handbrake on me, which was unpleasant. I was, I thought property was monopoly at this stage. I was ready to just roll on and do 10, 20, 50, 100. And that really wasn't going to happen. So I said to the bank, well, look, what can I do then? And I said, well, look, next time you buy a property, just renovate it and prove the valuation you've got by selling it and actually cashing out and making the money. And I was like, that sounds like super counterproductive and a bit dumb, but if that's what you want me to do, then let's do that. So within a few weeks, I bought another property. I bought the property, settled the property, got stuck into renovating it, putting a really nice, doing a nice job on it. I'm no tradesperson. I have very soft hands. I don't work for a living. I painted, I did carpet. I didn't do wiring and plumbing. I cut trees down. I scrubbed, I water blasted, I sugar sawed. I did all the grunt work essentially. And I did it pretty much all nights and weekends. So I'd do my day job. I'd come home and I'd go there and I'd do that all night. I was ending up like a zombie. And at the end of about 6 or 8 weeks, I ended up with a product that I could put on the market and sell, which I did. And it sold very quickly for what I considered a very good price. And I made $52,000 in 6 weeks from that one project. Now, you got to remember, this is 26, 27 years ago now. So the numbers are a lot bigger these days, but that was still my annual income. So I had earned in 6 weeks doing nights and weekends a year's worth of effort. And I got it all the money in one go. So I said to my girlfriend at the time, which later on became my wife, how would it be? How would you feel about being with somebody who was incredibly unemployed? And so I left my job and I took the big leap. In my late 20s, wasn't even 30 yet, I quit the last employment that I have ever had, and I went and started buying some more houses, and I bought quite a few more houses, and I renovated them, and I renovated them very well, and I renovated them quickly, and I got in and out of them, and a trader was born. I started really getting into that role of buy, renovate, sell. And I started making 30, 40, 50, 60, up to $100,000 per property. And the following year, I did 9 of those, I think. And it quickly escalated from there. I think the year after that, I did 200 properties in one year, which meant that some of those 200 properties I didn't do a renovation on. I literally did a contemporaneous settlement where I would buy the property, find somebody else to buy it, sell it to them for a small fee, and pass it on. Some of them I did the full renovation. Some of them I did a 6-month long, huge renovation. And this helped me build up a huge amount of equity. And I said on my Facebook page, this is just in the last week, I think, because I'm sort of currently, I suppose, testing my thought processes a lot, because I've been asked by a New Zealand publisher to write a book on property investment in New Zealand. And so I'm writing down on paper what I think, and then testing my thinking too, and going, why do I think this? Is that still valid? Is it the same now as it was 20 years ago? And one of the things that I've decided is that in the first 10 or 15 years of your property investing, you're probably investing purely for capital gain. You want equity. You want a larger number on the valuation than there is on the bank statement. And then after that, every year after that, probably, you will probably invest purely for cash flow. You just want the amount of money that comes in to massively exceed the amount of money that goes out every week. And I am all about that, I totally represent that. So a few years into my property investing journey, I did a couple of hundred properties. I did that for a few years. I very nearly burnt out. It was exhausting. It was really, really hard work, but it got it done. And it was a massive journey. So, I hope you don't mind the like small flex here, but like I had a lot of fun. I bought a lot of stupid assets and cars and had some fun and games. I had the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris and the McLarens and the Bentley and the hot rods and all that bits and pieces. And I got a fair bit of notoriety. There was some very ill-advised facial hair at one point. I'm sure you're sitting in your lounge now cackling at me, but it is what it is. And I also started getting asked my opinion a lot of times. I started doing a lot of public presentations, and you might have seen me in the press recently as well, getting absolutely pasted for my opinions. But I think what I think. So I started writing a lot of articles and bits and pieces too. And some of that created a bit of hate too. There was a few cartoons and a few bits and pieces. And, I got thick skin. I don't care. It is what it is. What it also did is it created this level of notoriety where people would come to me and start saying, oh, Steve, can I pick your brain? Can you have a look at my portfolio? What would you do if you were in my position? Would you buy this for this much money? Do you think I'll make any money? And I started really, having a lot of coffees with a lot of people, and doing a bit of coaching basically. And this started 20 years ago. Started with a company called Rich Mastery that doesn't exist anymore. And then after that, it started with Property Tutors, which is myself and Sean Wood, based out of Auckland, before he sadly passed away about 8-9 years ago now. And now I run this business on my own. I'm nationwide. There's 6 or 7 of us working within the business. And I just love the coaching aspect of it. I love being involved in working on my portfolio, but also working on other people's portfolios for their needs and requirements and what's going on in their lives as well. It really does give me a massive, massive kick. And things like this just blow me away. This is Richard, who's an absolute hoot. He's a great guy. He was a client of mine maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and this is just him saying thanks. He was on a 107-night world cruise. And he just did some really cool stuff with residential and commercial property, and ran on the benefits of it. Had a great time. Really cool guy. So that's enough about me. Let's have a quick look at what you might be doing. What can success look like for you? Well, the only comparison I can do is like I find myself to be in a position where people approach me on the street these days and go, "Oh, you're that property guy from Facebook," and it can sometimes make my results or my world or self or something. Where's that bigger? There's a bigger Steve. It can sometimes make it look to people like they go, oh, well, that's okay for you, Steve, but can I do that? And so it's always good to have, I suppose, referrals from existing clients of what they've been able to achieve and how they feel about where they've gone with their work and that type of thing. So get that out of the way. There we go. So this is Kevin and Sophie, previously lived in Levin. Kevin's just started his own, gone out on his own in his plumbing business and based all around Wellington now. Big part of the program has brought us invaluable knowledge that we wish you knew before starting our property journey. With this new knowledge and support along the way, we've come out way better equipped for our next steps. Now, they've completed a couple of subdivisions and they're now looking for their first trade property to create some instant equity and start some turnover for them there. But they've turned a very average piece of land into a subdivision where they've been able to sell some sections off and build their forever home on site as well. And we've been able to be instrumental in making that happen for Kevin and Sophie and their young family, which feels really bloody good, I've got to say. It's brilliant. These guys are awesome. Chloe, who was previously based in Auckland, has just moved down to Christchurch for the last year or so. Steve and his team were a wealth of knowledge and experience and valuable to clients. I wouldn't be where I am today without their guidance and support. My future is all more brighter for this. I would recommend anybody curious about joining to do so. You'll thank yourself later and regret not doing it sooner. And this is a common theme that we get. We understand that what we're asking is a lot. We want a bit of money and we want your time and we want your attention for a while. And we're not offering a get rich quick by any means. This is a get rich or get wealthy slow program. But once people click and get into it for a couple of months and they understand what we're trying to achieve, they understand that this is something they should have started years ago. And a lot of people have that guilt, but, now's great too. Paul, got on a stage in property investment journey where I was stuck due to cash flow. We get this an awful lot. High interest rates. Steve and his team gave me the tools and the guidance to do more deals and purchase more hold properties than I otherwise would have done. So Paul is absolutely stacking up the cash flow positive property deals, meaning that he's basically specializing in collecting a portfolio of properties that pay him money after all costs and expenses every week. Now, he's a working parent in Auckland, a lot of kids, very, very busy guy, very active, very smart, and doing some absolutely fantastic work, both in Auckland and further north up in Whangarei as well. So he's doing some really, really cool stuff. Bill is an international investor who has joined us and lives for the last 25 years as a Kiwi overseas, and his comments were 3 weeks in, we can't thank the wider team enough for all the support. Prompt and reply, always ready to jump on calls, clear and down-to-earth advice. And we just love this feedback, obviously. We feed off it. We put on a very, very good program. This is Aaron. Aaron's actually my builder and has previously been a member of my group. And this is him discussing one of the deals that he did very recently. Great start for 2024. It's bang on. Let's bring on many more like this. So basically the deal rundown was that he purchased it for $610,000. He had early access, meaning that he was able to get into the property and complete the entire renovation while he didn't own the property. The renovation cost $47,000. He did pretty much everything to it for that sort of money. The agent's commission to sell it was $20,000, $2,000 for his lawyer, and he sold it for $780,000. Now, he sold it on the day that he also settled it. So through doing it as a contemporaneous settlement with long access, he had zero holding costs in this deal. So after tax and a few bits and pieces, he made about $100,000 on this property. One property deal. Very happy dude. Certainly exceeded his income for that month as a builder. This is AJ's boarding house in New Windsor in Auckland. This is a property deal that AJ was a little nervous about, so he rang me up, asked me to come and have a look at it for him. I bowled through and went, wow, yep, actually, this is actually pretty cool. And I will do my best to show you a quick video now if I can make this one work. Famous last words. There it goes. Oh, let's see if this is going to work. Oh. Give it a minute. Full confidence. That's not me. Well, I hope you're laughing. Kind of stressed out. Come on, let's go. We'll see if we get this to work. Do give me a moment. Looks like it's going to work. Holding my breath. Pause has not been kind to poor AJ. Give it a minute. All right, last chance, then I'll move on. Thanks for that, Andrew. The gremlins are definitely at work. You wouldn't believe how many times we tested this too. It worked every time, of course, till you get like 70, 80 people on the webinar. Then it suddenly doesn't want to work. If it makes you feel any better, I imagine that my PA Rome is in the background absolutely having puppies right now. Well, it'll either work or it won't. Nah, not going to work. Let's kill it. Pull that off. Put me back on. I'll add that. All right. So, what AJ would have said if his head started talking was that him and I actually worked together in the mortgage broking industry about 20 years ago, and he went into another industry. We reconnected. He came to my event, and he comes up to me at the event, and he goes, "Steve, we're mates, mate. Right? Is this stuff legit? Does this stuff actually work? If what you're saying actually a true representation, that sort of thing?" And I was like, "Mate, this is my life's work. This is what I do. It's worked for me for 25, 30 years. It's worked for hundreds of thousands, well, nearly thousands of clients now, hundreds of them at least. And yes, it does." And so he brought me that property deal that I showed you before, which is this. So this is his property in New Windsor. And it was just an absolutely massive family home. And it was very cosmetically distressed. We'll call it super ugly, shall we? But it was also nearly 320 square meters. It was huge. So we got the doilies off it. Can you see this? This is classic. God, it was awful. It just looked like the house that your grandma had lived in for way too long. You know what I mean? But in that location, there was a lot of people who just wanted a bedroom, like a room, a boarding house to live in, a flat, and they would pay really, really high rent for it. And so what we did is we made it really sexy, made it really tidy, rejibbed, put in all modern flooring, new colors, new curtains, new carpet, new kitchens, new bathrooms, really gave it a really, really big birthday. This is what some of the bedrooms ended up looking like. Obviously pre-curtains, but 240 square meter home, 1,400 square meters of land. The land was the absolute gift. So this will be a future development site for somebody else sometime in the future. So AJ purchased this for $890,000 and spent a whopping $350,000 on the renovation. It didn't stop. He touched everything. Everything was renewed, made brand new. Absolutely amazing. He made it into a really, really massive apartment and another small apartment as well. But he also had a lot of land left over afterwards as well. So in total, he got $4,000 a week in rent for that, for the entire property chopped up into smaller pieces. So he went out and got a new valuation. The new valuation came in at $1.8 million, giving him an equity gain of $560,000, which in essence allowed him to borrow against that valuation, recycle his equity, and go and buy project number 2 within the next few months, which he's now completed and is recycling that from as well. But even after he's recycled the equity out of this project, it's paying him nearly $1,350 per week, cash flow positive, into his pocket after all costs and expenses. So he just put his income up by $1,300 a week in one property deal. It was a big one. It was a gnarly project. It took him quite a few months to get it nailed, but with our help and with the way that it worked, it all came about very, very nicely. All right. Now I've got another video here. Now you're going to stop laughing at me, and I'm going to be brave, and we're going to see if Rome can get this one working as well. This one is Dave and Jenna, and they live in Whangarei, and they're doing some really, really big things too. So we'll see if we can make this one work, which would be nice. The spiral of death. Well, let's see. It's pretty embarrassing I have to tell you what they've got to say as well. This is not looking good. Do I have to walk you through that video too? Tell you exactly how amazing that they said that I am. It kind of takes a bit of the shine off it. I don't know. All right. Let's go back to the slides, shall we? No, we'll remove that one. We'll chuck that one up. Right. So, Dave and Jenna came to me, and Dave really, really wanted to come to the event, and Jen really didn't want to. So they came to my one-day event, and Dave was like, "Oh, we're going to go to this guy, Steve Goody. I've been following him for ages on Facebook. He says a lot of the right things." And they were looking for a change in their lives. So they really wanted to get into real estate in a big way. They live in Whangarei as well, interestingly. And Jen said, well, she'll pop her head in the door of the event, but she's only going to stay till lunch, and then it'll probably be boring, so she'll go off to a movie, apparently. Well, at the end of the day, Jen was the first one with a hand up, wanting to have a conversation with one of my crew about joining the program. And since then, these two have become incredibly prolific property investors. And what they're actually doing is buying retirement villages, yes, plural retirement villages, and turning them into social housing for wins, essentially. So they've got a very, very big one in Whangarei and a very big one in Wanganui as well. And they're just going through all of the fire tested compliance to basically be prepared to be able to house, I think, 60 or 70 people in two properties because they're so big. It's a very, very audacious project for them, and it's looking like it will return a yield at or slightly in excess of a 20% return. So we're really, really impressed with this. It's absolutely insane. So let's have a look at that. That's some referrals and some people that I've already worked with. But who is this program actually essentially for? It's not for people who want to, I suppose, sit back and just buy some townhouses and wait. You know, this is for active property investors, people who want to be joint venture partners and do projects with other people, people who want to buy houses, do them up, make them amazing, and then hold them for the rest of their lives so that this becomes intergenerational wealth for their children as well. It's for people like me who, 20, 25 years ago, I wanted to eliminate the time for money life thing. I wanted a regular passive income so I could look at my bank account every week and it goes up, even if it's just by a little bit. It's for people who want to retire not on the bones, like to have just a bit better and be able to be the parachute for your other family as well, quite often, which is what I'm finding myself doing now with the health needs of my, elderly relatives. And it's for people who want to contribute and actually be good, decent humans in the marketplace as well. I'm a huge advocate for landlords provide accommodation, and we should do it really well. We should do clean, dry, safe, and we should give our tenants long-term tenure by being able to offer them accommodation where we make money, but they can afford it sometimes for generations. I'm a huge contingent of that. Just a good karma stuff, essentially. And as for people who know that their portfolios can grow, because I've certainly met people who didn't believe they'd be able to buy one investment property, let alone 5, 7, or get over 10 or 20. And we've been able to show people that they can. And we've been able to show people that they can without having to go to cheap properties in tiny regional towns that aren't going to have the capital gain that they're hoping for within their portfolios as well. And it's for people that are already successful and really want to double their income and double their time off, get to that magic point where you don't really have to work anymore and you can become a full-time property investor. I think in the last 20 or so years of being a property coach, it's possible that I've made the most unemployed people in the country. I've made a lot of people full-time property investors, and that's an aspirational target for me as well, something I really, really want to do. And it's really for people who are ready and want to absolutely work their ass off for a few years and be more or less able to take the rest of your life off. Because like I said, I'm 52. I'm quite happy to do this for a few more years, but at some point there's a beach in my future and I really want that to be really nice. And I think that I can take a lot more people with me yet in doing that. And the people that I'm actually taking with me at the moment is my children. So my oldest is 22, my youngest is 14. I've also got an 18-year-old, and I'm helping them build their portfolios now. And so I'm having a really good think, particularly for this book, on what is it I would put in to my portfolio now if I was starting it again from scratch. And that thought process has really helped me with my coaching business as well, because I'm just doing me, right? And then lots of other portfolios, but I'm really thinking about it at the moment, which has been really, really good. So that's who it's for. So who's it not for? Let's be fair. It's for people. It's not for people who are just in it for the money. There's so much more than money. There's success of you and others. There's lifestyle. There's just so much more. Anybody who's dodgy in any way, means, or form, we have absolutely not taken on clients in the past because we didn't like their ethics. We wish to be squeaky clean. We pay our tax. We do the right thing in all aspects of wherever we absolutely possibly can. We don't want dodgy people. And people, it's not really for people who are just into the education and the headspace and don't want to actually take action and do the actual thing. We want to help people who are going to go out and buy some houses. And I know that that's really scary for some people, but sometimes you need to take the first step on the ladder, the first rung, to get to the next one, without being able to see the top at that point. And we really, really push hard for people who will buy a property, do a renovation on it, recycle the equity, and then go, that wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. I knew what was going on all the way through every step. Let's do the next one. So I want people that are actually going to move and move and move. So there is a full digital brochure, and Rome is now putting it into the comments there. You should be able to click on it and download it to your computer and have a good read of the entire brochure later on as well. But I will just walk you through some stuff within the program as well. This is a photo we took at our retreat in Taupo early last year. That's me in the blue one, and right in the middle there. And this is most of our current clients, and they are an incredible group of good humans. We've fostered an incredible community of people who help and support and assist each other. So what does it look like? First year, it's pretty busy. There's a lot of setup stuff in first year. This is a 3-year program. The reason I do that is because I don't believe that you can set yourself up financially for life in 12 months. You can make some incredible progress, but you're not going to be there in 12 months. I don't want to sugarcoat this for you. So it's a Kickstart program. It's full of webinars, resources, and you get to meet your coaches. We do that very, very early on. It's a face-to-face over the webinar system, and then we use that to roll into a Kickstart retreat, which is based in Auckland, and it's a 2-day retreat for the new clients. And that's when we physically get in the classroom with you. We pull out the whiteboard and we work through projects and processes with you. And it's a weekend of training and meeting the coaches and meeting the peers and the other people in the group as well. We then do 3 live events. We do lots of deep dives on strategy. We look at the deals that you're looking at on TradeMe and give you our thoughts on how to negotiate them. We also have experienced clients of ours like AJ and Gemma come up to the retreats and present and show you the deals that they've done as well. Nathan, good question. Do you have the dates for the beginning boot camp? The first boot camp is very, very soon, actually. It actually starts on the 16th of May in Auckland, but I'll deep dive into that a little bit more as we go through as well. So there's 3 live retreats. We also have a lot of guest speakers come along. I actually get a lot of people to come along who are very, very experienced property investors and to give their knowledge, both in legals, entities, structures, mortgage broking, finance, cash flow hacking, you name it, we've done it. We also live stream these and record them because I have an app and we have about 800 hours of information on that app. But also if you want to be there but can't, because I have a few international people in my program. I've got people that come in from Dubai, Atlanta, and Ireland in Europe via the live stream to watch the live stream. We do that as well. We live stream the whole lot. We also do individual personalized one-to-one support because I don't want you to think that this is just a classroom exercise. So you have a property coach and you can ring them up or Zoom call them and get in front of them and go, this is a property I found on TradeMe. How much should I pay for it? This is what I want to do with it. Am I going to make any money? What should I do now? What do I do next? You have that one-to-one support all the time as you require. It's an all-you-can-eat system. We also do fortnightly live webinars where we learn, grow, connect. We actually get the coaches and a part of the clients to ask questions, answer questions, and present. Hey, I found this. This is what I did with it. This is what happened. What do you guys think I should do next time? And we record all of those as well. We've got a massive library of fresh information in there too. And also we put all of that on our premium client app. So it has clauses and seller purchase agreements and discounts and resources and recordings and webinars and boot camps, huge amount of information. And we can give that to you and supply that to you, Apple, Android, or desktop as well. So we try very, very hard not to lose anything in the translation of it. There's a massive amount of tools in there. All of them are very, very strategic. I've done a lot of media. I've done a lot of straight to video pieces and a lot of coaching. There's also a huge amount of spreadsheets in there too. So there's a spreadsheet in there for you to set up your entire property portfolio. Hey, what if I want to do a subdivision? What's everything going to cost me? All the bits and pieces. We work all the way through that. And then we also have a lifetime private Facebook group, which is really fantastic actually, because everybody's got really active on it. There's a lot of content on there, but it's just a live feed of, hey, this happened to me today. Has anybody else had this problem? Or I went down to Mitre 10 and I bought this. Is it the right thing? Or what do you think of this project I've just finished? Here's a whole pile of photos and everybody's sitting there doing the golf clap. It's fantastic. And it's encouraging and supportive. And it makes us as, let's be fair, lone wolf property investors not feel like we're doing this on our own, which I think is really, really magic as well. So what we're offering is an absolutely powerful network full of experience, skills, accountability, joint venture partners, trade partners, people that have had the problem that you've had or are currently having it, and we can fix that and make it work for you. So that's all year one. Year two, ongoing continued support. So we continue the coaching, premium client app, private Facebook group, and the live stream access, and we give you access to retreats if you need them. The problem there we have is if I end up with 200 clients, the fulfillment events of us delivering those retreats means a massive room. So year two and year three, we call this support. You can still do the live stuff if you want, but it is support based. So we get these questions every time. Can you bring your partner? Yes. Can you bring a kid with you? Yes. If you're investing with your son or daughter, well done. Fantastic. We want to promote that. If you have a business partner or a life partner and you both want to come along together, yes. Each application to the program includes 2 people. You can bring that person along. The next question we get is, can I do this while I still have a job? Yeah, absolutely. We do most of our coaching, training, retreats outside of work hours. Not all of it, but most of it. And most of our clients, well, I didn't say most, yeah, probably most of our clients still have some form of employment or a full-time job before they go full-time as a property investor as well. Does happen. A lot of people end up kicking the job, saying, I'm out. So where can I start? Right away, we are starting a group, as I said earlier, 16th of May. We are doing a webinar on Wednesday, the 7th of May, which will also be recorded if you can't make it in time for that. And our first retreat is 16th and 17th of May, which is a Friday, Saturday. And then we have Friday, we have the absolute new clients. On the Saturday, we have the new clients and the existing clients. And on the Sunday, we have just the existing clients. So for the Kickstart retreat for the new clients, it's the 16th and 17th of May. So there is a little bit of urgency there. It is coming right up. Now, we're not going to create any urgency to make you join the program. We're just going to tell you exactly how it is and how we get people put into our program as well. So what we get our prospective clients to do is to book a phone call with us. It's on the website on the screen there, which Rome will just chuck into the comments. Boom, just like that. Didn't even have to say it. And it's stevegoody.com/find out. Now, bang that in a separate window now if you're interested, and pull that up. And what will happen is you will get given a lot of time slot options for when we can give you a call and discuss whether this program is right for you at all, or right for you right now, or right for you maybe in 6 or 12 months' time, depending on where your financial situation is currently. This is an absolutely no pressure, no obligation phone call. We pick and choose our clients from these interviews that we take this way, but the clients pick and choose us too. And it gives you a chance to one-to-one speak to either me or one of my crew and have a really, really in-depth conversation about your specific situation. Because, of course, the information on the webinar to the general public tonight is of a generic nature. And so it can't be all things to all people. So we would rather be able to have a conversation with you that is much more in-depth, much more about you specifically, and much more one-to-one with you. Now, a huge number of those conversations turn into active clients for us, either now or later on. We're not going to be pushy about it. We would rather have the conversation with you and have you be on our radar, so to speak, and be able to go, we spoke to that person, they weren't quite ready for this yet, or they were and jump in and let's go, or they weren't quite ready for it and we're going to speak with them again sometime in future. So it is very, very much a no pressure phone call. All right. That is pretty much everything I've got for you this evening, folks. If there are any questions, type them in there now and I'll have a go at it for you. Otherwise, you should be able to download within those comments there the entire brochure for this program, for the coaching program, and you should be able to book your call there at stevegoody.com/find out, and we will answer any more of your questions and queries from there as well. And sorry about the tech muck up. You never know how this stuff's going to work. It's luck of the draw sometimes. We've used those videos again and again, and today they just didn't want to work. All right. Well, there's too many comments or questions in there. So what I'm going to do is leave that up on the screen so that everybody can have a good look at those details. And I'm going to let you guys book in your calls for your no pressure call with my crew. And we will stay online and answer any of those questions as we go through. All right. Have a great evening, everybody. And I will have a quick look at that. Jeremy says, what's the process? Question there. No links available other than the book a call link. Oh, there's a link slightly above under admin Rome for the full brochure. I'm sure she'll post it again in there. So you either want to use the brochure or the book a call link. We'll post both of those in there as well. Jeremy says, what's the process for selecting tradespeople to do the work, say in Christchurch? We have some tradespeople that we use ourselves on a regular basis. And we also like to help our clients find a crew of tradespeople for themselves as well. So It's a mixture of both, really. We've got a really good crew in Auckland. We've got a really good crew in Wellington, and we're building a crew in Christchurch quite nicely. And a crew, by crew, I mean a trusted group of professionals and people that will assist with the full gambit, and work with us quite a lot. I mentioned earlier my builder Aaron, who had made $100,000 profit on the reno he did. He does a lot of renovations for our Wellington people. We trust him a lot. He does some great work, and we have those set up in most of the main centres. But we also use other people, and you can use whoever you want. But we've got some ideas and guidelines on how those should go. Good question, Jack. Book a call and we'll have a chat to you online about what the answer to your question is there. Same with you, Bruce. Book a quick call and we'll have a chat to you online about that. Excellent. Well, I want to 45 minutes in, and I think I promised to not be too much longer than that. So I'm going to bow out now and leave the screen up. If anybody else has any questions, type them in and we will do our best to answer them. Otherwise, we'll see you on a call very, very soon. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye.